Okay, so we're going to look at the console C# application a little bit closer. So let's actually make a console application. I'm going to do File, New Project, and I'm going to choose C#, Visual C# console application. Okay, so pretty much this is the console application right here, and the console application doesn't have a form and it doesn't have a web page, so it pretty much just runs at the command line. So let's do this. We're going to actually say console dot write line, and we're going to say hello. Okay, now here's one of the things about the console application. Right now this will run, but the window will close. So let's give it a run. So you saw that the window came up and then it goes away. It flickers. So we have two ways to keep that open. So one of the first ways is that we can actually do Control F5. Control F5 will run the console application but tell the window to stay open. So let's do Control F5. So there you see we have our hello and the console application stayed open. Now the other way, which is the way I prefer, because I don't always want to hit Control F5, is you'll put in a console read key, and this will make the console wait for you to press a key. And you'll see that later on we can get input through this read key. So let's run this, and now we're not going to press Control F5, we're just going to click Start. So there it is. The console application stayed open, it's waiting for a key. When I press a key, it closes. Now, one of the things is that you'll notice if you scroll up, you'll see that these were brought in by default, but now you'll see that using system is actually turned on. So let's take a look at why. So if we take this and we comment it out, you'll see that using system goes away because console requires using system. So if you ever get some code from the internet and find that the console.write line is not working, you need to add using system to make it work. So let's uncomment this, and you'll see using system is now turned on. Okay, so let's take a look at write line versus write. So as we know, if we run this, we write a line, but let's say let's do another one. And now when we run this, you'll see we have it 2 lines. But now let's say we say write, and we run this. Now you see it's on the same line, because write just writes it and continues to write to the same line until you use write line. Okay, so the logic that's written in a console application is portable to WinForms and to a web page. So let's actually do that. So let's say we're going to add some logic. We're just going to add 2 numbers. Let's make that 10. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to write it to the window. Now, you might notice that we don't need a toString, even though this is an int, because the console window actually will just translates it. So let's run this, and there we have it right there. Now you notice this is a little hard to read. So what I like to do is I like to go into Properties, and this is from the command window. So you go just click here and go to Properties, and then I'll actually change the font. Okay, so now it's much easier to see that this is 30. So let's continue. So we're just adding two numbers and putting it into X, and now we'll see that we can bring this code into a WinForm or a web page. Okay, so next we're going to look at that you can actually copy this logic, copy this code from the console application and bring it into a WinForm or a web page. So let's do that. So I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to hit Control-C to copy it, and then we're going to start a new application, and I'm going to do just a WinForms application. So the new project, C#, Visual C#, Windows Forms application, click OK. There's the form. Just click Start, and you'll see the form is running. Okay. So now double click this, and I'm going to hit Control-V, and we bring the logic in. Now the difference is there's no console. There's a form, but no console. So we need to replace that. So we're going to do a View, Toolbox, okay, and we have to be on the form itself. So go to the Toolbox, Common Controls, and we're going to drag a label control onto the form, and we're going to make the font bigger because otherwise it'll be a little too small. So we're going to go to font, and we'll change that font size so we can see it better. And now we're going to change the console to write to the label. Now, if I do this, you'll see the compiler doesn't like it. So we're going to get rid of the console items. So that's one of the differences between the console and the WinForm application is the console does not require the toString, but a web form or a WinForm does. So we need to do toString. Okay, and now we'll run this. Now you can see the 30 is written in here. So pretty much the business logic is identical. It just runs in either place, and you can actually bring it back to the console application. The only real difference is that it's where it writes to. It writes to either the console or the form.